Good evening, everyone. Um, Again, it's nice to be back in person. I hope you're all doing well. Couple of things before we start. I know there has been some talk about subdivisions. Obviously, as many of you know, we did have a moratorium on subdivisions for a while. We tried to study to see if there are anything we can do to make this a little bit more streamlined. And we came up with the fact that most of the things, if we try to change anything, is going to cause other issues. That said, I want to, as an elected official, I think this body agrees with me that there are some subdivisions that are obviously legal and should happen, and there's nothing that the code can prevent from these subdivisions to go forward. But there's some of these subdivisions require some or many variances, and I want to say that I personally am not for these um, subdivisions, as they're going to create um, non-conforming properties. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that that's out there, just as elected officials and people that people have voted. I want people to know that we are not for these variances necessarily, even though we are not going to um, interfere with decisions of the other boards, as they are independently making those decisions. As elected officials, I want people to know where we stand, at least where I stand. Two, as far as the road work that is going on, and it's almost 4 months now, on Middle Neck Road with water pipes and gas pipes and sewer plants that is working on Middle Neck Road. I just want to say that, again, even though a large portion of that falls in our village, we do not have jurisdiction over those permits. These are maintained individually by these different companies that have been hired by Water Authority, Gas Authority, and the sewer plant. And Middle Neck Road is under jurisdiction of Nassau County, and Nassau County is looking to make sure that these companies do a fine job until the final date, which is around October, when they're going to repave the entire Middle Neck Road. Number three, I just wanted to briefly touch on the COVID-19. I know that we are really at a very low point during this pandemic, and I think we are at the end. But again, I don't want people to think that the Delta variant doesn't exist. I know my friends in California are talking about it, that it is coming back in California. I'm hoping that it doesn't come to New York, but if it's in the United States, it is already probably going to be here. Right. I mean, I'm talking about the numbers. They're not that significant. I do not see that in the hospital. We actually had almost nobody in our hospital admitted. I just had a patient a while ago, a couple of days ago, that got admitted to the hospital just for the COVID, not the variant. So for those individuals who are not vaccinated, I urge you again, either get vaccinated or really try to stay away from public. It is still there. I mean, we have really reduced the restrictions significantly in the county, and I think in New York State and all over the place, but I don't want to go back to where we were before with shutting down businesses and putting the mask or mandating the masks again. That said, those people who are not vaccinated should really not go out of their houses without a mask to public places, especially indoor places, and try to take heed to what we did before the pandemic or during the pandemic and continue doing those uh, um, recommendations. Take your vitamin D, which is obviously very important, zinc and vitamin C, and get plenty of rest and drink plenty of fluids, and hopefully that can help you not get the COVID. That said, we have the agenda. We're going to start. I would like to mention three names who have been significantly we've been a part of our village for a significant time and have served the village for a long time. I would want to thank, I know that the proclamations are here. I will hand it to them later on, or I'll give it to them at a different time. Judge Birnbaum, who served the village for 8 years as a judge and before that as trustee, and other judge for the past, sorry? Associate judge for the past 6 years. Also dedicated significant time and effort to our community. She has been elected as a judge in Kings Point. I wanted to thank her also for her dedication and her time that she gave to our community in the village of Great Neck. We thank your services. Also, a very important member of our village for the past 27 years, Mr. Nick Fermigio, who just going to retire. He had served us in the position of Department of Public Works for the past 27 years. Unfortunately, he's not doing well. Our prayers are with him. And we would like to also present him with a proclamation for his services that he has done for so many years, services that he has provided to the people in the village of Great Neck. So we start with the old businesses. Do we have departmental reports? Not really.
No, next meeting.
Next meeting, okay. So with the old businesses, you want to start?
Yep, so the first item we have on is a permit extension request for 240, 250 Middle Neck Road. If the applicant is here, I believe. Well, can you guys hear me?
I think the letter that we requested is self-explanatory unless there's a question. It's an extension of time with respect to the building permit and site plan approval.
Mayor, the applicant was granted a series of approvals, and they were conditioned upon getting building permits within 12 months of August 7th of 18. In July of 19, the applicant came back, and that was extended until July of 20, and in July of 20, it was extended until July 19th of 21. So at the current time, the building permits must be obtained by July 19th of 22. Well, he's asking for July 19th of 22 and site plan July 16th of 22. The current approvals were conditioned upon obtaining them by 2021, and that's about to run out. The board has the power.
Right. Is there an explanation of the delay for this?
I think that's what the board was anticipating Mr. Bloom would provide us this evening.
Good evening, Paul Bloom, Eric Bloom, Oshter, 445 Bullard Hollow Road, Melville, New York. Appearing on behalf of the applicant. Yes, there are significant reasons for this. The bulk of the reasons is over 2 years of county review on the 239F, and we were not able to do anything here in the village after you granted the approval for this application, pending that review by the county. More recently, we have an issue.
I'm sorry. Do we know the reason why the county took 2 years, and has it given approval yet?
No, they've have finally given the approval after 2 years of period.
So what's the reason for the county delay?
Endemic, if I could use that word.
But
it was not unique to this project.
I understand the pandemic, but 2 years.
No. Endemic.
Oh, endemic. Okay.
Our project is not unique. 239F, generally speaking, was a review by the county after it was first reviewed or passed by a local board, in this case. That should take no more than 4 to 8 months. I've, in my practice now, experienced one that took 3.5 years. This one was only 2 years.
But sometimes the delay is partially caused by the applicant's failure to provide certain requested information, materials, testing,
I think,
etc.
Bart, what he's saying that it's an endemic, so I think everybody's taking 2 to 3 years.
Yes and no. I don't know if everybody's saying 2 to 3 years.
I would say on average.
Let me put it this way. The county executive has appointed a special committee to oversee why it is as it is. It is probably the only word I can use which is accurate.
Okay.
In my experience, Mayor, it is running anywhere between 1.5 and 3 years.
Nice. Okay. So we should
Now,
pat ourselves on the back.
now, as a result of that, more recently, I know the building department is prepared to issue a building permit or a conditional building permit, but their hands are now tied because our original approval from the fire marshal, we're back to the county, from the fire marshal's office, because of the delay, has expired, and therefore, since the fire code, the state code, has been modified in the interim period of time, we have to start the process with the fire marshal all over again.
The board has the power, should it choose, to either condition your extension on additional fees and/or additional conditions if you so chose.
If I might, we have already paid 100% of our fees as well as additional costs associated with the plan review and also part of the incentive fee
Right.
that was imposed. So there,
Right.
there is a very, very substantial sum of money that has been paid to the village.
Paul, let me ask you, what's the timeline that you think you have? I mean, I don't think it should take, so right now you have 32.9F.
We're finished with that. We're now
You're
in
done
the
with that. So
fire
you-
marshal's
it's fire
office.
marshal. So you're assuming that the fire marshal, based on your guesstimate, those changes that they have made or modified to their codes, is that going to affect your application in any way except the fact that it has to be reviewed?
It
Are
has-
there things that you believe is not going to be approved because of the new recommendations?
The answer to that is I don't know. They're now taking their review that they did under the prior code. Steve, do you remember the year of that code?
They signed off the 215 code in 2018. The code cycle changed now where we're doing the 220 code and 218 code. So because it was approved in 2018, they're behind the cycle. So they want a new site plan approval. As far as everything else, with the sprinklers, everything else, that'll be handled at a later date. But just for site plan, to make sure that a fire truck could come down, et cetera, a site plan, they changed.
Did they change the size of the fire trucks?
It's different code, there's different widths, different things changing the code, whatever it might be, so they wanna do
So-
another site plan review. It's not the applicant's fault,
Right.
it is what it is.
Give,
Yep.
I would just, if I could speak, I think that given that the applicant has done everything they were supposed to do, and that the delay is beyond their control.
Yeah.
Mayor, if I could, for the minutes, assuming for the moment that the motion is made and passed to approve the extension without additional conditions or additional fees, I would like the resolution to recite, when I drafted for the minutes, that the building department did indicate that the delay was not due to the fault of the applicant,
Right.
which would then distinguish it from potentially some other applicant that you chose to add conditions or fees.
Of course. Okay, no, I do agree. I mean, I don't know what else we can do. I know that I have spoken to the county executive about not this project, but other projects, and the reason it takes and so long, and she did mention that they're trying to look into it and see why.
I would just put in there that I think she set up this committee to oversee it
Right.
about 6 months ago.
Right.
I have not seen any change.
So maybe we should create a committee to oversight a committee.
That might be in
That's what we usually do in the government. Okay. All right, so I agree with Bart, and I think because it's beyond your really powers to do, and it's not your shortcoming, I think I would just go with Peter, if you want to.
Yeah, and Paul, that's going to be for both site plan and building permits, correct?
Yes, that is what we request.
Is there any reason we wouldn't be able to choose the same date for both? For whatever reason, the extensions run out a couple of days apart.
You can take either date,
Okay.
for both, yes.
May I suggest then that the board there may be a motion to extend the condition of site plan and building permit from the current dates of June 16th of 21 and July 19th of 21 to July the 19th of 22 for both conditions, noting in the resolution that the building department has indicated that the delay is not the applicant's fault.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a lovely evening.
All
Thank
right,
you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
The next item on the agenda is facade update review for 429 Middle Neck Road. Morris?
I'd rather they put that on the side of the building and not the Middle Neck Road side.
So this is the,
What? You think that?
Yep.
so this is the Middle Neck Road side of the building at 429 Middle Neck Road.
It's my understanding there'll be lettering on two sides of the building, is that correct?
Correct.
Right.
This is on Middle Neck Road for the facade, and this will be on Piccadilly side. That's for the item number C for the sign permit.
Okay, I know that this is not a real rendering. Thought we were gonna get a real rendering, but
I
okay.
could see like one line.
Is there a reason why they want the initial on the side street and not on Main Street?
Because that's the entrance.
I understand.
You
I
wanna
just
switch
don't
it?
understand the three lines of
You wanna-
foreign
Want me to go
text.
back?
Right,
Yeah.
if you're,
Go
if
back
you're
up?
traveling on
Here, go
Middle Neck
back.
Road and you're looking for it, it would make sense for it to be, I mean,
So you're
it's an
saying put the
English
congregation on that side and put the Hebrew lettering on the,
on
Yeah.
Piccadilly.
right, so I think that's an idea. So I think the question or the recommendation is to have these letterings put on the Piccadilly side.
Yes.
Above the entrance, and then say congregation, whatever the name of the congregation is, on this side, so people that are driving, they know what this is. Are they okay with that?
I believe so. If that's what you want to do, they're gonna go for it. Just they want to open. They want to.
Well, I
This is
think we're
delaying
still
them.
waiting for some other, this is not what we're waiting for them to open.
No.
No, no, no.
Right, so the
no.
other things
They
that need
just
to be
want to
done.
order it. The stones going up. They want to put the sign up. So
Right.
I just want to let you know this sign been approved already.
Right, but this
But-
sign was approved, I think, before the other one came.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
It was carved in. Now they're gonna put
And
it
it was,
raised
this
up.
was carved in already?
It was
That was
the,
originally
the way you approved it was carved in.
Now it's gonna be applied.
Now they're gonna be applied this the sign on top of the wall. That's
So
why
the
they're coming
lettering
here.
is-
So there's no lettering, currently there's
Why
no
would you
lettering
say-
up there at all, nothing engraved.
But you said it's carved in?
Yeah,
What do you
the
mean it's carved?
It
lettering
was supposed to be engraved,
Right,
engraved
and now it's
inside.
gonna be applied.
okay, so but they didn't carve it in yet?
Nothing,
So
nothing
there's
is done.
nothing there? The
Nothing there.
congregation, Kol Israel is not there yet?
Nothing there.
So now they're gonna put a different sign? They're
No,
gonna
they're
have?
gonna put the same exact sign, but instead of carving those lettering inside the
Inside.
wall, they're gonna apply the lettering on top of the wall.
Okay, is there a
Sample?
depth,
1 inch,
1 inch out?
yes.
Oh, it's not so big. Okay, and what's the size of the letters?
About 10 to 12 inches.
So these are.
These
10
are the same size. This is the sample.
Oh, wait.
This.
I got you the updated.
It's
The
a-
one that they show you is like a sample. This is 10 inches, 11 inches. The other one they brought
But
for
it's
you
a
to
different font than
Anybody
this.
wanna see this?
This is not the same font. Not the same font.
This is
It's not the same style
This
of
is
the
a, s-
letter.
But
alright,
that's the
that's a
size.
serif.
the color and the
No,
size is
yeah,
this.
But that's not what you're gonna use
Yeah.
anymore, right?
This is what?
They brought this as a sample of the color and the lettering, but they are 4 inches.
It's a little bit small, but that'll be the color.
It's not deep. Lines are-
No, it's just,
No, it's a
this is just
sample
I know,
of the
I know,
material.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking for.
So this is too small, I think.
No, that's.
I know, but I'm
This is
saying
the
originally they
color
think this
style.
size. It
It's gonna
should
be 12
this
inch.
size.
It's gonna be 12 inch.
It has to be this size. The only question is, do we like this style or this font, or you like a different font?
Well, the one
Well,
over
they gotta do
there
that font.
is,
Is that the font?
It's a very plain.
This
that's
is
a
the
nice
front,
font.
this is
That's-
exactly the lettering gonna be like that.
This is not a nice font.
No,
This is
it'll be
not,
this.
this is
The
just the
This is
size.
the
exact
I know,
lettering.
but
that's the font.
you said this is a new style. I don't know what that means.
The color and the size.
Okay, but the font is gonna stay there.
Yes.
Okay, fine. And are we okay, you guys are okay with this going on Middle Neck Road?
Do you care one way or the other?
No, I want this done.
Okay.
I'm
you
okay
okay?
with this
Yeah, I like
being,
this one better.
You like it?
on Middle
On
Neck
Middle
Road.
Neck Road.
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
over
I think
here,
it'll be easier to identify.
on the
Yeah,
lower,
they just-
on
I just don't know.
On top there?
It's too
right.
much. It's too much. You got
No,
3
no.
lines of text there.
No, but the only other thing is, do you think you can fit all of that
On the side.
on top of the thing? And I don't know.
Over here. That's gonna be over here. The
Right.
unit's gonna be over here.
over
Yeah.
here on the lower level or on the upper level?
No, go to the other side, Piccadilly.
No, for the congregation, will be here. I just wanna make sure I clear for things.
Yes, on
On the lower
the
level.
drive it, whatever
Yeah,
you
same
call it.
place is
Yeah,
gonna
right
be
here.
the congregation.
On the right part, you're saying.
But
Yeah.
this is like, there's like a little like
That's on the stone.
terrace on, over here. So you have an upper level here.
You know what?
Or down here.
Is one the translation of the other? Do they both say the same? No, they don't.
No.
Ah, that's right, the memorial.
It's part of what we
Right.
say from First Rush.
Right. So the
Yes,
question is,
yeah, if you keep-
I don't know why.
You see how that's on the,
You see, this is a
Right, so I
That's on
don't
the
know if you
stucco?
can, right, I don't know if you can put all these 3 lines over that, but that's.
no, turn, go to the
Can
next
I
one.
make a suggestion?
It's gonna be on the stucco.
And put
Right,
the
but I
English
don't
on
know if
the,
you can
It's
fit,
gonna be on the stone.
I don't know if you can
Put
fit,
this on
the-
the stone.
guys, I don't
Yeah.
know if you can fit the Hebrew on the stucco.
You're talking
No,
about
no.
the dedication part.
Right.
Where it says the board's
Dedication will
name.
be on the
Right.
stucco over there.
Oh, and here, on this side.
Yeah.
He's saying,
They'll
well,
bet it
the,
on that.
because there are 2 lines of print that are on,
3
currently on
lines.
the stump. Oh,
3
3
lines
lines of
of-
print. So,
Go to the other side one more time.
Excuse me, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah,
If you could leave it like this, and on here, we can add a congregation
yeah, on top.
Where?
to
Up here?
clean up and,
That's okay.
I go to
Oh,
front
put
of
it-
the
ah,
board.
I
Yes.
didn't
That's the
even see that.
yeah.
oh,
I didn't
Yeah.
see that on
Yours?
top.
Yes,
And then nothing in the front?
They
No.
could put
we leave that
congregation.
alone in Piccadilly.
this is the
We
front.
just put congregation, so everybody passing
So
middle
you're gonna have
road.
2 congregation, Kol Israel,
Yes, one on
and then one here, one in the back, and then this here.
That's fine.
I appreciate it very much. This
So
way.
congregation here.
Are they-
And then on the,
They're okay?
Whatever I tell you, I will deliver, I
Please.
promise.
You
Because
don't-
that's,
This
I'm
is
just,
division
I
number
just wanna
27.
get clean up.
I'm sure whatever we approve is gonna
Yes.
be exactly what they built.
so, just so I'm clear, congregation will be on both the Piccadilly and on the Middle Neck Road.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But the
And the
question
writing
is, you
will
want
still
it to
stay
be
on.
the same font, the same size? On both sides?
Why not?
English and Hebrew or in
If it
Piccadilly
fits.
or English and Hebrew?
No,
It
on
does
middle.
fit. This congregation is gonna fit.
Okay.
So it's going to be 4 lines on
Yes.
Main Road
Yes.
and 1 line here.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, the name of the congregation should be above the entrance, but if you're saying, what you're saying, it also makes
It would
sense.
also make sense to have it on Middle Neck Road.
Right.
To identify.
I agree, I just, I don't have an issue. Okay. You wanna go back one more time? Let me just see the other side.
And, this is the size of the proposed sizing of the wording.
12 and a half inch.
And the other one was how many inches?
9-inch, 12.5-inch.
Some of them are 7 inches.
Yeah,
The
the
bottom.
smaller one is 7,
Yes, 7 inches would be.
4
here.
inches,
This would be 4 inches.
170 inches. Is that 170 inches
Yes.
or 70 inches? 100.
170.
Well, that's in the width, so.
The banner is there, is exactly like this.
7 inches, what, how many? 7 inches, that's 6 feet, 7 feet?
No, 13. 14
Under
feet.
70, that's 14 feet.
That's pretty wide.
That's okay. It's a big front.
I'll go back out.
Go back, yeah, yeah, okay, so if that's gonna fit like that, yeah.
Two windows.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah, that's fine.
Then on the stucco will be the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
Trail.
It makes more sense to have congregation up top.
Okay, that's fine.
Talk.
Anything else?
Everything good. I appreciate it very much.
So,
Is that
do we have to
Mayor,
vote?
is there a
Is there a
motion
amendment?
pursuant to Code 575-145? The board has the authority to approve signs that would otherwise not be consistent with code requirements. So in your discretion, you do have the authority to approve both signs. Is there a motion to approve the signage as described under?
As described, that
As
we're gonna have
described.
two
That's right, English
congregations
and
this.
Hebrew on the Middle Neck Road side and English only on the Piccadilly Road side.
I'll move.
Moved under section 575-145, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Now moving on to new business. We had,
List of new business.
we had a parking request from 9 Brokaw, who they're having some work done at their house, and they have contractors that sometimes have to park in the street, and there's no parking anytime between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. in front of their house, and then on the other side of the house, there's no parking
Even during the
anytime.
summer?
Even on that block, even during the summer, yes. So they were requesting while the work was going on to have permission for the contractors at those times that they don't fit on their property to be able to park in front of their own house.
I have to recuse myself.
I would say as long as it's done before school starts, right? Because once school starts.
It's on Brokaw, and where is it
It's in
again?
the middle of Brookline.
9 Brokaw.
9 Brokaw?
The
How
only
many?
reason no parking there is because students park there. This has nothing to do with
No,
students.
students don't park there.
I know it is,
It's
this whole
summertime.
rule is because of students. This is nothing about students.
They don't
So
want
I'm
this, no,
saying-
no. He's saying the rule is for the students don't park there, not that there are no
Oh,
students.
students
So
parking on
she's
Polo
saying
Road.
the same thing. She's saying that as long as it's done before the school starts. And how many cars are we talking about?
It's 2, maybe 3, and it's not all the time, only the times.
Trucks? The two trucks?
Vans.
Minivans?
Like
Vans?
Yeah, like the
Vans.
contractor.
The
Contractor
contractor vans,
Yeah.
okay.
I believe the letter said they estimate approximately 2 months to complete the project.
Yeah, they hope, but you know how.
2 months.
That
Yes.
runs into the school year.
We're in July, August.
Runs into the first week of the school year.
The board can, of course, say only for this period of time, and then the applicant, if they haven't finished, can
have
come
it done
back.
by the end of August, and then if there's anything that they can do, I mean, hopefully they don't need so many, and we'll see.
So,
But
permission until.
we're not lifting, we're just giving them permits, only,
Is it lifting of the parking restrictions for in front of that
It-
house,
it-
or would it be?
It depends on how the board wants to proceed. You can make it for either the house and permits to the contractors. That's an administrative issue for Brian, or you can suspend the no parking for this period of time for
I don't know
all
if I wanna do
vehicles.
I don't know if that's going to.
Then another way to
negatively
handle it
impact
would be for the
area.
contractors to come to Village Hall and indicate that they're doing work on those streets, and on that street at that house, and be issued permits.
We could do like we did with Fonzola, just issue some 2 placards that would expire by the
Right,
end of August.
Right, I think that's an easier way of doing it.
Finished by August 31st?
Right. And then, listen, they can always come back and ask for, extension
Right.
if they need, but, let's do it that way for now.
I just want to throw something out there, having nothing to do with this particular application, but something I'm thinking about, is that we get many complaints about vehicles speeding on Brokaw.
Right.
And we've also learned, either through NICOM or through other educational sources, that one of the, pardon the pun, drivers of speeding vehicles is wide, empty roads. That narrower roads tend to have a traffic calming effect. So,
So you think parking there is going to make them drive slower?
I don't, I'm just saying, not for this particular application. I'm
Alright,
talking about.
in general.
That area in general, like also Nirvana is right by the school, and you
Yeah.
can't park there during the day, and cars are always speeding by. I can hardly cross with my kids.
I
So
know,
one of
but-
the things I think we asked is to try to get one of these speed
Speed
radars.
Don't we have a sign on Brokaw?
Yeah, who listens to
Sometimes.
speed limit signs?
No.
They have.
Oh, speed limit, yeah.
They have.
Yeah, but
No,
nobody
I'm
listens.
saying an electronic one.
Oh, they
that
don't
No,
have.
we don't
measures-
have.
They don't
No,
have.
I've seen it there.
Once in a while, the
They
cops
do?
move it around.
They do, right?
Where?
On Brokaw, right? On the
No.
north side
No,
of
but does it
Brokaw.
measure the speed that you drive?
It does.
So it's the
I
school
don't think
body
it's there
problem.
permanently.
On Brokaw?
No, they move it
I've
around.
seen
It's
it
a
there.
portable.
It's the one that we bought that we're using for different places. Maybe that's the one?
No, I've seen it on the north side of Brokaw.
It's on the utility pole or on the pole by itself?
Okay, you're quizzing me. I'll take a
Sorry,
picture of it
I'm just
next time I
curious.
pass,
Sorry.
when I go home.
But anyway.
For the
just-
purposes of this application, is there a motion to authorize permits good until August 31st of this year for contractors working on 9 Brokaw?
And how many permits? 2?
I don't know how
I
many
think they-
contractors are
they
working
asked
there.
for 3.
Okay.
3?
Okay, you moved
It's been moved
and he recused.
and
Okay.
seconded by trustee Mendelson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, except
one
one
rec-
recusal.
Okay, the next request, the next item on the agenda is Potter's Court. There is a request to remove no standing signs that were installed, reinstalled according to our superintendent of DPW. After there was cleanup done on Potter's Court, you'll see some emails here from residents who were requesting that it be removed. Just wanted to make the board aware. Abraham and I both went out when we got these calls, and we looked at both Kathy Lane, at the cul-de-sacs Kathy Lane and Reed Court, which allow for parking at the end of the cul-de-sacs on both locations, and they're similar size, if not a little bit smaller cul-de-sacs.
Someone doesn't want this approved.
Or not.
Okay.
Where's Louis? No.
Wow.
Well, that was a big one. Okay.
So we have one of the residents here, if you'd like, he could
Okay.
talk about it. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Michel Barron. My family and I have been resided at 9 Potter's Court for 17 years. And putting these signs bring a lot of headaches and tremendous headache and inconvenience for our family and for our neighbors. We have a very narrow driveway that we don't know which one of the member of a family is going to move in the morning to go to work. We're going through a headache to move these cars because we cannot put the car over there on the cul-de-sac. On the other hand, we do have guests coming to our house. During the weekends, I have 20 years old, 19 years old, 13 years old, and 16 years old, which their friends, they come constantly to our house, and they park their car over there to either study, either going out together or anything. So they cannot come and stay over there. 2 years ago, they put one sign over there, and I came over here, and the town listened to our first appeal, and they moved that only one, that sign over there. And now there is 5 signs they put over there. As Mr. Rivera mentioned, Cathy Lanes and Reed Court are parallel to Potter's Courts, and they are similar cul-de-sac, and none of them have those signs all around the cul-de-sac. I do have pictures that I can provide to you if I may, that it shows there are 2 signs on 5 Potter's Courts and 7 Potter's Courts, which has been there for many, many years, which we have no problem with it. We know we cannot stand over there, but this
That's in the beginning of the entrance to the court, right?
right. I have the pictures if you would like
No,
to
that's
see.
not at the end of the cul-de-sac that
Here,
you're talking
there's
about.
one here. This is number 7,
Uh-huh.
and then number 5 is up a little bit.
But on that side you can't park.
On this one side, you can park on this side,
Uh-huh.
but not on this side.
So that's I would say that's the east side. It looks
Yes,
like.
that's right, please.
So the east side you cannot park. On the west side you can park, and then
it's the similar
in the
situation.
cul-de-sac itself, in the roundabout, you are able to park. You're able to park in the other 2 cul-de-sacs, but not on this one.
Correct.
Why'd they put up 5 signs?
I don't know.
So
Question?
the other question, if if we do allow parking, obviously the question becomes, can fire trucks easily go in, or would that be a hindrance?
Um, to me, I'm not an expert, but in comparison, I could bring us over to the other two cul-de-sacs real quick. This is Kathy.
I guess I wanna
Is
know
that
what
your
happened.
soccer
fairly-
field?
It looks fairly wide down
I wanna know what changed that made them install
there. Yeah,
these
why
stop
we,
signs.
I remember
When I
coming in
came
front of
over
us.
here, I was told there was always sign over there,
So here's
which
Kathy.
for past 17 years we never had any sign
So
around.
No, no,
Years
I
ago
think
when you-
historically there were signs that were
This-
removed.
This looks similar
How
in
long ago?
size.
I'm trying to remember what
Yeah.
Louis said. There was a reason why he,
Was it like something that they did when they did a subdivision years
He
ago?
was saying that it might have been something like that. He was going to look for the paperwork, but
Did he ever come back?
he didn't come back with paperwork, no. But this
Do you
is
know,
re-
based
this
on the
is-
size, if there's any code that would prevent us from removing these signs, as far as fire code
Fire
goes?
access.
it looks pretty wide.
And this is
That's Reed Court.
Reed Court, which has an island in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There's no island in the middle of Potter's.
Correct. Or
So there's an
pottery.
island and there still
Fire
can
hazard, you don't
park.
wanna repeat it,
Correct.
but
Correct.
Well, if they can't park.
I'd be curious to know how wide it is across the bed, you know,
This looks
Um,
wide.
This looks like the same size as the other one.
hard to
This
say.
actually looks pretty wide.
yes.
Powders looks,
Are there the same
Well,
number of
Potter-
houses on this street?
Are there the same number of houses?
Yeah.
There's probably a little bit less on Potter's, and
Yeah.
because one side is the backyard of
Of a-
Kathy.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
I could take measurements out there if you guys like, and report back.
I
On
would,
the
yeah, I
distance
wanna know
of-
the
of-
history of it.
Can you see this?
So I think,
That's a house on
I
Kathy.
don't know if we can
That's
make
the
a final
backyard.
decision now,
So
but
there's
I think
really no house here.
based on what
So
we are
this is pretty
hearing,
wide.
there shouldn't be, there's enough compelling
These are
reason to
backyards.
remove these signs unless there's something
So
that
this
we
is-
haven't been told yet. Not by you, but we're waiting for a DPW person to come back and see
Yeah.
what the reason was. Now, based on that, we can say, yes, we're going to remove the signs, or we cannot remove the signs. But if you can just give us maybe till, you're meeting next,
Yeah, 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So give us 2 weeks, hopefully within 2 weeks, if you can send a message to Louis that we're waiting for his response.
Can you at least please do me a favor and for next 2 weeks, let us at least, it is, you don't know what a big headache we have of moving this car and putting our car over.
So my question to you is, do you leave your cars outside at
No,
night?
we don't, but we have to. What if I have a guest?
I hear you. No,
What if
Sir,
my
I
my
said that.
bathroom clogs and I need let's say somebody to come and fix that? They're not gonna park over there to come and fix it.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. As I said, I think the board understands, and we would like to remove those signs. Before I think we can make that final decision to order the DPW to remove the signs, I need to know what the reason is that they put it.
Okay.
Obviously, that we cannot cancel something we don't know the reason for. Most likely, based on what we know today, and comparing it with similar areas, you're right, and those signs should be removed. If we find out sooner, then we'll do whatever we can do. But I think hopefully by the end of the week, we have an answer from Louis. If you can just send a message to him, let him know that I like to know an answer why. And if it's compelling enough, if the board would like, I can give him direction to just remove them.
The board can certainly authorize you to remove them absent information from DPW that would suggest this was required by state code or fire protection.
Okay. You guys are okay with that?
Yeah. How long have the signs been there?
I think it's a week or a week and a half.
They've only been up for a week and a half?
Yeah. So according to Louis, the signs were up there for a while, for many, many years. And then a couple of years ago, they installed a sign that had fallen down. Mr. Barron came back in 2019, discussed it with
remember him.
discussed with the board. I don't think Louis was at that meeting. The old building superintendent said that he would take a look at it, and then I guess it starts to get overgrown and the signs were falling, and Louis had them reinstalled. They did a cleanup, and he noticed that the signs weren't up, so he put them back up.
But if the signs haven't been there for many years,
Without a problem.
what?
Without a problem.
Right.
Without a
Then
problem.
it is improbable that there's a
So
code or
then-
fire
so
requirement,
then-
but possible.
But again,
Should we still not,
I would, my recommendation is to look at the fire code, to look at fire safety. So-
I'm looking at the width of this thing, and it looks,
That's the board's decision.
considerably
My advice
wider.
would be
It is
that you
wide,
make
right?
it subject to information from DPW that it's not required by fire safety.
So if he has that information by tomorrow, I mean, I'm sure you can discuss it with Steve to see what the fire code is. Louis knows what the fire code is as well, but I think you can discuss it, and if there's nothing against fire, then we can make that decision.
I appreciate.
Very good, sir. Is there therefore a motion authorizing the mayor to make that directive to DPW, subject to compliance with fire code and safety regulations?
Right, I
yeah,
can
I'll
make,
move.
That
All
brings
in
us,
Aye.
David, do you want to say something?
Yes, I believe because I probably was here. A while back, the neighbors in the vicinity of the synagogues at Steamboat Road and Potter's Lane were here en masse to complain about parking from people going to the synagogues on the weekends. And I think that's when some of those signs went up, because there were great complaints about that. I think that's when that.
He put the signs up a couple of weeks ago, so it couldn't be because
That
of
I
those.
don't know, but there's been discussion how they had fallen down, so I think the original signs went up when many neighbors in that vicinity complained about on-street parking. Remember, at the time, there was a plan they had to build a parking lot at 2 Potter's Lane, and all those trees were cut down, and then they did get the approval at the BZA, but they never built the parking lot for 150 cars. Years
Right, but
ago.
apparently this goes way back before that happened, that there were signs, so that's why I want to
Okay,
find out.
But
So,
I believe that the whole bunch of signs were related to neighbor complaints about on-street parking, congestion, and then the fire department was here to say we're worried too.
well, I mean, I need to find out. So if the fire department, that, to me, doesn't, if the fire department is concerned about this, I think the other two they have to be concerned about those other two as well. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank
And
you.
if I may, I promise my son would like to say a few words if it's okay.
Sure.
If not,
If it's not gonna take too long, okay.
Yeah, I'll try to make it brief because I know there's a bunch of other things on the agenda. First off, our other neighbor wanted to be here. Unfortunately, due to the storm, a tree fell on their house directly, so
Ooh.
they
Oh,
couldn't be
jeez.
here.
Are they okay?
Yeah, I think.
Fell on the house?
Yeah. They have 4 cars, I believe, and because of this and the inconvenience, I know we talked about how on the west side there is parking. Unfortunately, down the hill where some of our neighbors live, they constantly have guests over. They park their cars on that side of the road, so there isn't really any parking. I think you guys mentioned a question to see how big the actual cul-de-sac is. I don't have exact measurements, but it's big enough to walk around. I think it's probably like 25 feet in radius. So if that gives you a better
So
context.
I tell you one thing, when it comes to code, they don't go by guesstimate of feet, they go by inches.
No,
So
okay.
I can't really, the code is the code.
Yeah.
I can't, if it's 2 inches off, then it's 2 inches off. So I certainly can't do that measurement, and I don't think they can. I think it has to be given. You don't want to be against the fire code. For this board, I can say that the most important thing is the safety of the people who live there, and we want to make sure that, God forbid, if there is fire, that the fire trucks can easily get in and get out. So that's why I said, even though we personally don't believe that you guys should be denied be able to park in front of your houses, but I think it's something that you guys definitely would appreciate, to make sure that the fire apparatus can get through.
Yeah.
So by hopefully by a couple of days, we'll know the answer.
All right. Thank you.
Okay? You're welcome.
Okay, Mayor, the next item on the agenda is a request to install railing in parking lot number 4.
Okay?
Mayor, you may wish to consider on this item for the installation of the railing to await a report and recommendation from DPW on that. One of my concerns would be, is there anything unique about this particular parking lot calling for the railing
Right.
as opposed to all other municipal parking lots? And that should
Wait,
be,
wait,
second,
wait,
one
wait,
second.
guys, wait.
and that should be documented by a recommendation from
Right.
DPW, so that that way you're not in a position of being a claim made that an accident occurs at some other municipal parking lot that you didn't put the railing in. So are you putting railings into every municipal lot or only this one? And if it is only this one, to document
Right.
what the unique qualifications are.
Right, so thanks. So what happened, apparently, there were a couple of accidents in certain areas that we have heard. We do have a number of parking lots, and as the council said, and I reiterate, is the reason we need to look into it before we jump into and ordering the DPW to go ahead and put the railing. We need to know exactly where they need to be placed. So there may be a study that needs to be done, at least to find out where are the areas that need an immediate attention, and where are the areas that we can actually wait and see. So I know that this area, this parking lot, has significant amount of traffic, and there has been multiple accidents. I believe that this needs to be addressed first, this area, but again, a brief study at least needs to be done to find out if there are any other places, so we can, if we are doing it, we address those at the same time. That said, if you guys would like to mention something, you can. I know we, okay.
Yeah. You could come on up. Just state your name and address, please.
Okay, my name is Cleo Su, and
My name is Tony Lee, Zheng Guang Li, my wife.
okay. So my husband's in the June 23, and I'm on the way to pick my kids in Baker, and my husband's just trim the garden, and the car just rushed in. When rushed into my backyard, it's just a step away from the moment. Probably just to her says it's just a half second. So that is he is going to under 6 feet. Okay, if that happens.
I don't want to see the picture again.
Oh, you don't want
Okay.
to see the pictures? Okay, I'm sorry.
But we have to show.
Yeah.
We're looking at it here.
Oh,
He's don't feel that.
God.
Okay.
How
Mhm.
fast was this car going?
We don't know, but everything's been.
They were parked?
They put it into,
They put
Yeah.
it into drive.
they put it.
But this is from your house.
If it's okay,
Yes.
I'm also gonna join.
Right. Okay. It's our neighbor.
I have a little bit more background because,
Just state your name, please.
my name
Okay,
is
go ahead.
Kanakashi, 3 Margot Place.
Thank you.
So we bought our house in 2009, okay? Right before we moved in, a car also that was parked in the Everfresh parking lot, instead of going reverse, went drive, and it hit the bedroom of my son's bedroom. And there was a crack in the wall, the closet, the windows, we had to change everything. Okay, so that happened, fine. We were like, okay, maybe it's just like a one-time thing, and we're not sure. We're a young couple, little kids. My kids are playing in the backyard the entire day. And then our neighbors, Ken and Olga Sperber, who they bought the house from.
I'm sorry, could you just show me
Back to
where
the
it is
picture?
exactly? No,
So
I
this
don't.
is
You can see the
the
firehouse.
residents who just had the
I know.
accident now is here,
And
That's
my
the
house
Lee's
is
house.
right behind them.
and then
This
it
is
was
my
about
house.
here where it hit? In your house?
Yeah, right there, right by a little, towards like the 3/4 of the way.
I think
Yeah,
given the proximity.
Right
How
there.
far is your house from the fence?
very close. Like you can't even put.
Can you walk between the two?
Yeah, you could walk between. There's a path. Okay. But you see that hole behind my house. There's a swing set. The kids are always playing there.
You still
and-
there? You still live there?
We just moved out about 2 weeks ago. But this whole thing is a dead end, and there's a basketball hoop right there
Yeah, I know.
also, which is also people park here, and so we thought it was a one-time thing. 2009. Then
And there's a slope there, isn't there? A slight slope going up the hill?
Yes, this
Almost.
is, well, at least I know for sure here.
Well, you
Yeah.
can see the car is definitely lying, downhill.
go
Yeah.
up and down, and there is a concrete is like this big, and the big.
She was
Yeah.
reversing out, which is the same story every single
Not
time.
reversing, she was going forward.
She thought she was reversing. And the story goes like, I don't know what happened. My car just did that. And that's what every single person said. I have pictures. This happened another 2 times to their property. It happened another 2 times to my property. After that, we came into the village. It's documented in the island now. Actually, someone wrote a letter. It was Stephen Limmer, who was the attorney at that time, who also said it hardly happens. It never happens. And at this point, it happened in 27 dressings where there are high school girls eating their lunch and they were hit in the legs because a car, again, lady didn't know what happened. She put reverse, but it went forward and went through. Um, and it's just a real, and it's such a crazy parking lot to begin with. So much traffic and so much noise and so overcrowded, and it's just happening so often in this spot. I don't think it happens in any other parking lot in the village this often.
Can we have
That's
advice to
something,
council?
that's something to think about. I know you're saying if we do it for this one, we have to do it for all of them. Honestly, I'll show you pictures. I even took it with my old-fashioned camera in the time before we had even,
We have a
had
picture here
smartphones.
too.
No, this is from 2016, and I have many more pictures, but I couldn't find it in time to come to this hearing. It literally hit the trampoline where the kids were jumping. The lady said, I don't know what
Okay,
happened.
okay,
I reversed. But how fast are they
And
going?
this is for 27 dressed.
Finish looking at that now.
Okay.
This is right next to me. This is by my property.
What is the name of this street again?
Margot Place.
Margot
But it's
But all connect to the park.
This behind the, this is the.
Yes,
something
yes,
about the
yes,
little-
yes,
little
yes,
pocket
yes, right, right. And Everfresh is here.
park. Yeah, for instance,
Keep
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Oh my God. And there's an entrance.
Yeah, there's a gate right over, there's a gate right over here.
And in the same parking, connect to the same parking lot.
They're going all the way around.
Yeah. Thank you.
People not going in there, they're just along this fence here.
That fence.
Yeah, that one we know
wall
also, yeah.
fence, and then over there.
This happened right.
Just before me, yeah. Right, just a month before.
I have a better idea, why don't we just make driving illegal in Great Neck?
Or maybe a new driver's license after a certain age. All we're over a certain age, and I'm not, I don't mean to say it in a thing, but maybe just to take a new test at a certain age. I don't know.
We should eliminate driving. Gary, you'll have much less work ahead of you.
And they're going so fast, exactly, they're reversing.
Can we have advice of council, real quick?
Yeah, I'll have.
Very quickly, we're gonna go for advice of council.
And what really
Just give us a few
passionately.
minutes, we'll be
No, I'm
right
just
back.
saying, because we have kids, there's
I
little
know, I
kids
know.
that were
Yeah, I have
there
two
a few
kids.
seconds
One is
before.
11, one is 8.
Yes.
So if, so if they get it, we can get it also? If the county gets it? Well, we'll discuss that. All right.
Mayor, it's my understanding that the photographs that were proffered just a few moments ago will be accepted by the clerk into the record?
Yes, please.
Is it okay?
Yeah, sure. And I have more, but I'm not sure where they are right now.
She has a suggestion.
I have albums.
And it's my understanding, Mayor, that a motion may be made to direct DPW to install metal guardrails on the south edge, the east side of the parking lot, by reason of the unique status of this particular municipal lot being so close to the residential area, and also after the barrier is overcome, a downward slope towards the residences that would accelerate the vehicles in that direction.
Correct, and also that there has been multiple accidents that have been recorded. So with those two reasons that this place becomes unique. One, again, to reiterate that the houses are in extreme proximity to the parking spots, and accidents do happen, unfortunately, and there has been multiple accidents. I believe this specific reason separates this parking lot from other parking lots. So with that, I believe that we decided that we're going to ask to move to see if we're going to approve this not ballards, but
A metal
guardrails,
guardrail.
metal guardrails on the east side of the parking lot, that covers the entire side. So hopefully that will protect the homes. And after or during the same time, we're going to study other areas to see if there are other proximities of these houses to the parking spaces that can cause these kind of accidents, and hopefully we can prevent those.
Is there a motion to that effect? Moved by Trustee Hope. Any discussion? Seconded by Trustee Mendelson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you, guys. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Oof. I think we need that picture also. Just keep that picture.
We have it.
We
Yeah.
have.
Yep, I have it. Do
You
you
have
want
it?
me to return them? I'll scan
Yeah,
them
because they're
tomorrow.
all originals.
Right. And do you have dates on
Write your
those?
phone number, I'll call you tomorrow.
And do you have dates on those photographs? Just even
Did you move
approximations.
into your new house yet?
Yeah.
Do you have dates on those photographs?
Do you have?
You went a whole year without living in it?
What was the date approximately? This
She
was
moved into Rabbi Leonard's house.
2016, okay.
That's serious.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
And
so
I'll
just
just
write
scan them tomorrow and I'll
What's
call
your
you.
name?
Brian.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys.
Right.
Thank you. Good luck.
Stay
Stay
safe.
safe.
Thank you.
If you need more picture, I still have
We
it.
don't need, we just approved it.
No. I think it's good to have, just to have it.
Yes.
If you do have the pictures, just drop them off by Brian tomorrow.
Email me.
I will send you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. We
All right.
appreciate
Focaccia.
All right.
Bollards
We
are
love the village.
bollards at park.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, yo.
Okay.
Focaccia.
Okay.
The next
All right.
item
Have
on
a good
the
night.
agenda.
The Board of Trustees scheduled, right?
The next item on the agenda is the BOT dates for the next fiscal year.
We're just meeting 6 times next year, right?
So So just to point out a couple of items in September, there's a few holidays as noted on the sheet.
October or September?
September of 2021. The first and second Tuesdays are Jewish holidays.
Are we doing September 2021 or is it October 2022?
September 21.
Oh, so we're starting from, okay.
Holidays are
I
always-
know. Oh, so talking about this, okay, I was thinking that we were gonna do the other one, okay.
So, I'm not sure, Abraham just wanted to point that out to everybody.
That we can only meet once in September, is that?
And
No, that we cannot meet in September,
Yeah, because it says.
it's all the Jewish holidays.
Yeah.
So the first Tuesday is Rosh Hashanah, the second Tuesday is Sukkot. We can possibly meet on the 14th.
On the 21st.
No, 21st you cannot meet.
Why
That's
not?
Sukkot,
No.
yes.
The 14th and the 21st.
No, 14th is not Sukkot. Are we talking about 2021?
Yes.
Okay, so 2021, the 7th is Rosh Hashanah, The 21st is Sukkot and the 28th is Sukkot.
So we can meet on the 14th.
So we can meet only on the 14th.
But isn't that Erev Yom Kippur?
No, the 15th is Erev Yom Kippur.
Oh, 15th is?
Yes, 16th is Yom Kippur, 15th at night is Erev Yom Kippur. So Tuesday night is
So
going
this
to be
is
just a
actually
regular
incorrect,
day.
Brian.
So.
Oh, no,
what-
he's saying date of the meeting is
would be
September
the
14th. Okay, that's right, okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay for September?
Yeah. the
Having
only-
it just on the 14th?
Yeah, there's an error in the comments, but I don't think it's relevant.
And then also just to make you aware, in April, that's when we need to have our budget hearing by April 20th.
Yeah,
So April 19th would be during Passover. So
we need to.
we have time to do the budget hearing prior to that, but he did want to make
Okay.
you aware.
Well, we can't have it as late as we had it this year. We have to do it earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to do it by, well, I mean, if we really do need, we can have a special meeting on the 12th, but I think we.
Right.
Right.
So are you okay with just having it on the one meeting in April the 5th and having a special meeting as necessary? Or would
Yes.
you like to, April 5th and special meeting as necessary?
Right.
Why not the 12th?
The 12th?
Oh, it's a week later. I see.
I mean, listen, if we do need, we can, on the 5th, we can.
Yeah, we can make another
mention
date.
it on the 12th. So for now, we just say, so you can just write down, I think that would be okay. And the
Okay.
26th, no, there's not gonna be a meeting on the 26th. If we have
Okay,
to
so
have
we'll
an-
keep it at April 5th, and if there's a special meeting,
Yeah.
we'll call for it at that time.
Okay, all right. So you guys wanna move to approve this?
I'll move it.
Schedule as proposed is moved, seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, so the next item are our annual resolutions. Peter, do you
Mayor,
want to-
these are a series of resolutions that you pass annually. I have reviewed them again this year. They are resolutions designating depository banks, authorizing certain certificates of deposit, investments, the payment of claims, the payment of recurring charges, authorization for a mileage allowance, the employee handbook, authorization for overtime pay, material for tax notices, a bonding authorization to the treasurer, bonding, making one bond available for all village officers required to be bonded, the designation of the official newspaper, the authorization to use what's called an ICS sweep account, and the authorization to use credit cards. And these are the same resolutions as were passed the past several years. There may be other resolutions that the village administration will be proffering to you in the near future. Some of these should be ultimately consolidated into the organizational meeting. You have a computer usage policy, you have a sexual harassment policy, you have a series of those policies which stay in effect even if you don't pass them year to year. But I think as a matter of good practice, it is useful to reauthorize them, which draws them to the attention of both the public and staff.
Okay.
And another item that Abraham just wanted me to point out was that under the resolution for the investments, he added another bank, Metropolitan Commercial Bank, that he would like to use as for investing, not for operating. So he just wanted me to point that out to you guys.
Okay.
When you say investing.
So for savings, it's not for operating, so to get, they have a little more competitive rates than what we're getting
Right.
for our existing
So
banks right now.
does he have which one he was? He's
It's
thinking?
a Metropolitan Commercial Bank
Okay, so he's adding that to,
to the resolution.
okay,
Yes.
All of these, according to the resolution, are FDIC insured.
okay, all right. I don't have
I'll
an
move
issue.
it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. At this time, I believe there is on the agenda the appointment of an associate village justice, which would be a mayoral appointment, subject to approval by the Board of Trustees.
Right, so, I wanted to, he's doing, today? Okay.
Yes, you could do it.
So I wanted to introduce Gary Slobin, who has been a great friend and really a community has worked very closely with the community for the past many years. You've been in our planning board, and also, more importantly, also you've been the president of the Temple Bet El for the past year almost. Almost. So, I, sorry. So he has worked really hard. He was one of the people who came to help during the vaccination sites that I was looking for, and Gary was extremely helpful with coming up with the site and providing the area. We were able to vaccinate about 1,000 people on that site in Temple Batel. So I wanted to.
And a distinguished attorney.
Obviously he's a distinguished attorney, but I haven't dealt with him in that aspect. And when it came up to choosing an associate judge, I couldn't think of anyone better for this position than Gary. I think his character has been flawless. He's a fair person. And I would love to offer him this position. I would hope that you accept. Obviously, I'm assuming you're accepting this position, that you're here. That said, are we doing the swearing today?
Well, I think you would first simply announce you are hereby appointing him to be the Associate Justice, and then there would be a resolution ratifying that appointment.
Right. So I thought that was obvious, but I hereby going to appoint you to be the Associate Judge, and I would like.
And is there a motion to ratify that appointment?
So moved.
All unanimous. Thank you.
Yes.
At this time, you may wish to issue the oath of office.
Okay.
Can somebody take a picture? Yeah, you want to take a picture?
I just
come
want
up
to
here.
say, Mayor and the board, thank you so much for entrusting me with this very important position. And I will be fair to everyone who comes before this court, and will work very hard for this community as I have been, and I will continue to do so. So thank you.
Thank you.
You want to come up?
Yeah, come on.
So you come up. So you want to take a picture first, and then we do the swearing?
What? No.
Okay.
I, Gary Slobin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the laws and ordinances of the Village of Great Neck.
and the laws and ordinances of the Village of Great Neck.
And I do further swear
And I do further swear
to fulfill the duties and responsibilities of this office of Associate Justice of Village of Great Neck
to fulfill the duties and responsibilities of the office of Associate Justice of the Village of Great Neck
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, take a picture.
Yes. Looking good.
Is the mic in the way?
I got you.
It was just blocking your face. Congratulations.
Yeah, that mic wouldn't block much of me.
Thank you, Boyd.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor, the next three resolutions are approvals of settlements of tax certiorari's, one for 149 Steamboat for a refund of $15,000, the next for 320 East Shore Road, a refund of $12,000, and the next for 825 Middle Neck Road, a refund of $5,500. I must confess that I am not personally familiar with each of the settlements. My partner, Ken Gray, worked with your assessor, Tom Donato, on that, and he has indicated to me these settlements meet with our office's approval, and I believe they are recommended by your assessor.
Right, so I did have a question on the one on Middle Neck Road. Do you have any information on those, or Brian, or not?
Okay, what information?
The one
is
on
that?
Middle Neck Road?
Well, I have it up here on the
Do you have a picture of, can you bring it
Oh,
up
yeah,
on
of
the
course.
Google map?
Elliott House of Great Neck.
First one was 15,000.
Oh, it's that mansard roof.
Is
this the-
Yeah.
Which one
It's
is it?
across
Elwood
from
House?
Steamboat.
It is the most hidden apartment building.
This is
in our
the
village.
temple over here. This
It's
is
between Apple
That's
Tree
north.
and-
That's Northeast
This
Plumbing.
is Ellard.
Right, right.
It's the house in Ellard and Mill Neck. The house, the building on
Oh.
Ellard and Mill Neck Road.
Mhm.
So you tell me that that building is worth only 2.3 million? Is that what it's assessed for?
It
2.6.
Huh?
Pre-
2.6.
That's what we had it
Oh, a
assessed.
final
at,
I see, a final assessment
we had
of
it
2.3.
assessed at 2.6 million.
But now we're settling for 2.3.
How?
Yeah, so I had to call into our assessor to ask him that question. He didn't get back to me prior to the meeting. But
They might have a lot of rent stabilized.
I don't know. I'm just not acquainted with the facts of this one.
I believe there was no rent that was higher than $2,000 a month. Most of them were one-bedroom apartments out of the 22 apartments there.
Is it a rent stabilized place?
They're only
I don't know. It didn't
garage
indicate
spaces.
if there was if they were rent stabilized or not. But I did see that the rents were ranged from like $1,300 to $2,000 a month.
That's just under half a million.
Yeah, but 2.2?
22 units, even if you did
And
1,500.
you're thinking about, you telling me each unit is about, what, $50,000?
Constructed in 1960. I mean,
No, each, that's what he
Each
said.
unit is $50,000?
But I'm just saying, this was constructed in 1960.
And
Doesn't matter.
Each unit is cost $50,000? I want 5 of those units.
I'll take all of them.
You may wish to hold the approval on that one.
I mean, that's one, so I think I wouldn't want to vote on that one yet. Could you show me the other two, please? And what they're assessed for?
Okay, we'll start here. 320 East Shore Road.
It can't be just a number. It's what they're getting. They're
Well,
getting
Well,
money
it's
back.
a number in comparison to other buildings, other apartment
I
buildings.
think maybe that's why our taxes are so high, because we're assessing the buildings a lot less than what they should be.
Well, it could be that it's just this one. I mean, there are only 8 parking spots.
2.2 million?
I understand what
You
you're saying.
can't buy a house for 2.2 million. It's a real number.
So then how is it that your associate approved it?
No, our office handles the legal aspects. The assessment is done by your village assessor.
If it's right, so if it's
We don't value properties, right?
So this one
mean, I
is.
don't know what
We
they're
make sure that
collecting
the
in
settlement
bags.
agreement is drafted properly, that it's in the right court, that the judge is signing in the right place, but we don't assess the properties.
Our assessors would not,
Yeah, it's-
I would assume, but that's something I can't speak to.
so maybe we have to ask.
Yeah, I could get the backup information from.
Okay,
what
so
they
this
use.
is on East Shore Road.
So this is 320 East Shore Road.
What's the
right?
assessed value on this
So
one?
the
This is by
assessment.
Ravine, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So-
so this is the building. The assessed value that we had it at was 9.35 million, and they came to settle at 8.5 million.
But how much are the taxes?
And it's
Taxes
84
on-
units.
How many?
That is 84 apartments.
That their taxes are $37,000 a year, approximately.
I'm sorry.
For a 6-family, 38.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
38 for a 6-family.
This is crazy.
That's, how many units is it? 80?
84.
84 units? And the assessed value is how much?
We had it at
85,
9.3 and
8.5.
they settled at 8.5.
Is the third property also an apartment building?
Is he
Yes, I
suggesting
believe
that's
so.
assessed value or
So I
market
think we
value?
have to
That's
come
the
up with
assessed
the
value.
formula for what they do for
Divided
But
by.
assessed
You said
value is supposed to be
82?
market value.
Not
84.
anymore, no.
84
It never
units?
became that,
In our village it is.
So
Is it? Okay.
so you're telling me that each apartment is about $100,000?
Yeah.
Which world do we live in?
We,
It's not real.
Well, it's not
we
real.
could also,
Just the assessed
Mayor, we
value.
can also invite for possibly the next meeting or a future meeting, Tom Donato, who's our village assessor. to come
Okay,
and
do me a favor,
discuss
give me the other one also, please.
And the last one
They're all
is,
apartment buildings.
This one is a commercial property, 149 Steamboat Road. This is for the
Oh,
oh,
the tennis.
what's the name of the company that's over there?
Oh,
The pavement
Curly?
company.
Oh, no.
Tom
Gavin.
Curley?
Yeah.
Galvin?
Galvin.
Okay. What's the story with Galvin Brothers?
So for there, they have a bunch of lots on Steamboat.
They're running a
Road.
massive business on that.
Isn't Curly located in that
No,
same area?
Curly's more east.
This is 1.3 acres, and they're running a massive business.
And how much was the assessed value?
We had it at about 3.1 million, and they settled at 2.4 million. And let me get.
What's the tax?
Let me go back. This one here is better to view from.
Good luck. What's the cross street?
Here's Morris Lane here. I believe it's this.
Yeah, look at it.
I believe it's all of this here.
Yeah.
And he pays 39,000 in taxes.
Hmm?
I mean, I can't really say, I don't know about the value of this one, but that's maybe something we can discuss. And how much are they asking for now?
We had it assessed at 3.1 million, and they were settled at 2.4 million.
Okay, and what is it that they're getting back?
$15,000.
And their taxes are 39,000 a year?
Approximately. They had so many different lots, I didn't have time to print up.
So what I need to know is for how many years? They're asking for.
From 2014 through 2021.
So that's
7 years.
7 years.
A little over $2,000 a year.
You know what? If you're not
Does the
approving,
board wish to have the assessor come in at the
right.
next
So I
meeting?
think if you're not approving the other two, I wouldn't approve this one. Wait for the
I'll
next
request
meeting.
to have time to come at the next
Yes,
meeting.
please. I just need an explanation of how he's calculating it and why he's giving them. If he gave them, it says 3.1. What changed his mind that all of a sudden now 2.4?
Well, a
Because-
rental unit doesn't get taxed at the same rate as a condo unit, but a condo unit, I don't think the rental
know.
units get,
Well, condos get taxed on each apartment.
right, each apartment's
Not the
fair
whole
value,
building.
not
Right,
the whole
I
building.
understand.
Yeah.
But still, okay. Oh, I think.
So they might use a different formula for
I would like to
rental
hear
of
it.
building.
Listen, I mean, it's not. I don't think 2 weeks is going to make or break anybody. They waited 7 years. They wait
Yeah.
2 more weeks. Okay.
Okay.
That takes us to the committee on the 100th birthday.
Yep, so that's, we have on here a discussions forum, a committee to celebrate the Village of Great Neck's 100th birthday coming up in 2022.
Right. So even though I don't know exactly when this celebration is going to be held, I doubt that it's going to be during the winter time. I'm hoping that it's going to be sometimes in the spring or
We
maybe early summer.
If they have the ice rink, we should do part and part.
Right. I don't know if they're going to do ice rink.
Okay.
From what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
they may not. So I don't.
They're very,
Right.
when I ask them about it, they're like,
Right.
they're not, very non-committal.
Right. So that said, I am looking for individuals who would like to volunteer time to come in, and obviously this is a historic moment for our village, 100-year or birthday, I should say, anniversary. And I think it would be great to have individuals who are committed to come in and have a program set up, and possibly even a date and what what they like or they see fit.
I'm going to make an additional suggestion that, given the amount of time and effort that would go into planning some things, that we consider hiring the services of an event planner who might specialize in something like this.
Right, but I think we may need to do that anyway. But I
Mhm.
think we
But we
would
still need
like
a committee,
to have a committee who's going to actually oversee it
Mhm.
or have suggestions. I think this is something that is going to involve the entire community, and I think it's best if the community has full participation. So if you know anyone who's interested, you can send it on your blog, David, see if they're interested to come in. and see if they're, we put it maybe on the newspaper as well, and see how many people show up and how many people volunteer. Well, it's going to be on the website. All right, next.
Next item on the agenda is the minutes from June 15th. Just tell me when you want me to go down.
I read them already, so.
Oh, we don't need to scroll for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't scroll for me, so.
I'm used to Zoom still.
Right.
There was not much then. Okay.
No, it was a short meeting.
Yeah, I'm done.
Not done yet.
Oh, no,
Don't-
the
No,
minutes.
no, no, the minutes
The
are
meeting
short.
at which you're approving the minutes
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a short
yeah,
meeting.
yeah, right, it was a short meeting.
You guys want to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the abstract.
Okay, I just have two questions. One is, there were two bunches. So in the first bunch, I just noticed that the numbers, the hours added up for,
For,
an
okay,
individual were slightly off by two in our favor. So,
okay,
so that's one correction, and you can go to that spot. And the other one is for PERMA.
okay.
What is PERMA?
PERMA is our workman's comp. So it's the association that handles that for us.
Okay, yeah, so, is this question in regards to the abstract? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it,
I,
wait, just
Well,
one,
is
just
that-
one
is
second.
this
about the abstracts.
Okay, so
Oh.
let,
We're not done.
let Andy finish and then
Okay.
the,
So those were the only questions that I had.
Oh, okay.
I was
okay,
gonna
but
make a
I'll follow
motion
up on
to-
that.
What?
I'll follow up on this.
Okay.
I'll note it.
Okay, yeah, it's just 2 hours,
Okay,
and the ones on this were fine.
okay. And then you had a question, David?
Yeah, it's better to come up.
Yes, please.
Um,
Name and address for the
Yeah,
record?
David Zeliziger, 15 Beach Road. I don't have the abstracts in front of me, but when I looked at it, just from memory, I have questions about two different items. One is there seems to be a rather large payment of about $11,000 or more to the Mojo Stumer firm. I'm wondering, is that because they've been selected to do the new Village Hall, or what that payment is for?
I didn't see the
Oh,
payment.
I'll show you. I think it's in the second tab. Give me a second. Maybe it's the first. Is it the first group?
It might be.
Yeah. It itemizes, it's basically the same. So
Okay.
do you want to answer that, or?
Yeah, I can answer that. So Mojo Stumer has been selected to do the design, and we're going through the process, and hopefully we're at the end of the process of designing the interior. I think the final design was to the liking of the board, and we will have.
Oh, it's online. I
Yeah, I was
see.
gonna say
Right.
it's not him.
Yeah, I'll show you the actual slip. I was looking under S, that's why.
Okay. And we are going to have a meeting probably in about a week to finalize that and to start doing the exterior design.
So if you see, you didn't charge for this, you only charged the breakdown of coding and something else.
Yeah.
So it came to $11,200.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, well, I have a separate quote about another item, but, I mean, if they've been selected, is the public going to see what the proposals are that they submitted to you, or have they not even designed the new building yet?
So you have to realize that designing a building is a process.
Right?
That we have met about, I think, 5 times already. And we're trying to come up with, again, you have to realize we have a court, we have building department, we have the tax department, we have all these different divisions that need to be set up, and they need to meet to make sure that their needs are taken care of in this
Of
design.
course, you need a modern public office building for meetings and
Right, so
functions.
that's not going to happen with one meeting.
Of course
And
not.
he gave us a design, and we are just working
Interior
on that.
layout.
Right.
Okay.
So layer after layer we got. So the last meeting we had was a very successful meeting. I think we pretty much liked the final design. We just have to move a couple of things, very small, minute things, which he said he's going to do. And we are going to have a initial exterior design, I think, at the next meeting, which is going to be held in about a week. So when we have a design that is ready to be shown to public, that is worthy of showing to public, we'll show it to the public.
Okay, and then in the current year budget, there's about $2 million appropriated for Village Hall, so the check will be coming from that line, from that chunk of revenue?
It should.
Okay, then I have a separate question. I also noticed there's like 2 checks I think the total is around 45 to 4,700 to RDM Design Studio, which is at 8 Church Street, which is the home of Mr. Mordecai, who's a contractor to the village, and whose house has been cited because it hasn't been painted in years. I'm wondering if, until that condition could be cured, that you at least withhold the payment.
Absolutely not.
Well, and I mean, I don't understand why.
Can you explain how that's legal?
Well, I actually don't understand why he's working as a contractor when the village has a superintendent and an inspector. And here you have someone who puts in for inspections and office work, and, you know, I don't get it. And then on top of it, he's been cited for not having painted his residence at 8 Church Street. It's an eyesore. I mean, you know, what kind of chutzpah is that for someone who is serving in the building department and his own house has been cited for lack of proper maintenance?
I'm going to address that to Steve, and I'll discuss
Okay.
it. Yes.
All right, well, I just sort of thought this should be brought to your attention. And I, as a neighbor, and I can see that house, every time I leave the driveway or look down Church Street, I'd like to see that condition cured as soon as possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the abstracts?
I make a motion to approve the abstract with the corrections.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public comments?
Go ahead.
Dave?
David Slenziger, 15 Beach Road. By the way, I'm also sorry that this meeting isn't on Zoom, because there are a number of seniors and others who would have come this evening, but here we had the thunderstorm just before the meeting. You heard now that resident had a tree fall in the house. I think that might be something good, because the village did an excellent job with Zoom the last 17 months, and questions were answered, and there was an interface with residents. This YouTube is passive, so people can listen, but they can't participate. And I bet Nathaniel could easily run the Zoom if you were to start it again. All right, among my questions are, there are lots and lots of vacancies on Middle Neck Road, and I've noticed in the last month even 2 or 3 more. I've also seen that while the owner of, I think it's 703 or 705 Middle Neck, the office structure at Hicks and Middle Neck Road, spent a lot of money rehabilitating, and it looks great. there's no tenants there.
I don't think they're finished yet.
Okay, well, it looks finished from the outside, and
The
they,
exterior facade was done first.
okay,
They're working on the inside.
okay, because, but they've had, rental things, or there, but what I'm wondering is this village doing anything to try to attract new business to the village? I think there've been one or two new shops open, but that's it. And, so many things have gone out of business. And, besides waiting, perhaps one of the trustees might be a business committee or something like that to try to do that.
Right. So I think one of the things that has been done in other places, you, as I mentioned before, you cannot force anyone to come here.
Of course not.
What you can do is to create an environment that people would like to come. Unfortunately, a couple of things going on. One, we have horrible roads that is not really attracting people to come here yet. Everyone's complaining, there's congestion, there's not enough parking just because of these road work. So I think until that happens, that's a significant step that needs to be taken in order for these individuals who may be interested to come back. Two, you have to also realize that during pandemic, most people did not really want to do anything. Stores were closed. Now that the pandemic, I'm hoping to God that it's not coming back and the virus is pretty much checked. Now people are starting to think about opening new businesses and moving to new places. Obviously, I have asked Steve to streamline and fast track anyone who's interested to open anything, and we have done that with a couple of the offices that opened up. But I don't know at this time if there's anything that can be done until after we're done with the road work. Obviously, there are the new developments that are going up. They do want to bring in to their surrounding neighborhoods. I know that Steve Cowan, south of Everfresh, is looking to bring in a couple of new businesses, and I think right. So those are that's the way that we can
Good.
start filling in.
Because I'm just thinking that maybe something more needs to be done, or what I don't know, perhaps Brian knows, if say, our business is calling Village Hall to inquire and to see what the process is for getting business permits or other things. I mean,
Well, we do get calls,
right?
from people asking, but that would really go mainly to the building department, so they would have a better idea about that stuff.
All right.
But we do get calls from various different people asking about, could they open a business here, could they open a business there, so we do get calls.
All right. Another thing is East Shore Road and the former sewer plant property. We heard that there was a proposal or, something theoretically proposed, but has that morphed into anything more solid? And have you seen anything more from Torcon and his plans for that site?
They are going through their due process, and again, you have to realize everything got slowed down
Of
because
course,
of the
I
COVID.
know.
So they are on the track and they're moving forward.
They also have 239F, right?
Yes, they will.
Yeah, they're gonna have a 239F also situation with the county. So that
But they
process that we
they
heard
are
about, yeah.
moving forward. They are moving forward.
All right, well, if you have any idea when that's going to be presented. One other thing that's not really village, but you can help is there are a number of people have complained to me about drinking in the village green, especially by the gazebo and other places.
Right.
Now, I know there have been complaints to the park district, but of course it's the county that runs the police. And what I'm wondering is, by mentioning this here, if perhaps you folks might jawbone the 6th precinct into doing some night enforcement. Now, I know that they're police enforcing at night because I sometimes will see them, and I know the cop cars on Beach Road and all that at 3 and 4 in the morning. But people have complained to me. I haven't heard it, but I don't hear that, and I don't tend to walk out by the village green around midnight anyway.
Well,
but I'm just hoping that perhaps something could be done. I know there have been complaints to the superintendent of parks and the chairwoman of the Parks Commission. So.
I assure you that we're very aware of the situation. not least of which is because I'm in the park early in the morning and late at night, and I see the problem. I've had discussions with Parks. I've had discussions with the Sixth Precinct, as has Trustee Cashy. And Trustee Cashy has actually gotten the pop units into the park, where they've taken action, and 2 days later they're back. And you can't expect the Sixth Precinct to set up
No, it's a
patrol
question
in the
of
park.
patrol. I totally understand
But
it.
it is just a problem that seems to be related to perhaps the business that's across the street from the park that facilitates the problem in the park. And it's just a proximity thing, and it's unfortunate.
And unfortunately, it's not only during the night, it happens during the day as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's all day, all weekend, night, day. And I have spoken to the commissioner as well.
Fine.
He's aware. He has sent cops, but unless you have a person there 24/7,
Well, they're not going to do that, but
Sixth
but
Precinct
I've
won't, the
had
park
lots
could.
of complaints, and I mean, for people who say they've walked their dogs or gone there,
They're
and
right.
therefore I thought this is a good place to bring it up.
Sixth Precinct has advised me that they did get a lot of individuals' names, and that they did give them warnings, and that was about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And the last couple of days, they've been back in the park, drinking early in the morning, late at night.
Okay,
So,
Thank you.
That's it from the public.
yeah. It's not just the drinking, it's the littering and everything that goes along with it, so. All right, move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Oh, let's have a conversation.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have the other?
Yeah, quick advice.
Yeah, so could we have just a brief moment of advice of council?
No, all of us.